Welcome back there, friends. We're right on into
Hi.
Agent Select. I hold shift with Dust, and it's Envy and Sentinels. Their first crack at what Breeze has to offer. You know, it's about there's going to be a lot of just trying things out and feeling stuff out.
Yeah, is it going to be double controller or not? Marv hasn't picked an agent yet. That's going to be my curiosity for the defender's side here with Envy, but everything else is kind of what I expected. Over on the opposite side, we see Sick picking up Skye. Again, Skye, I think, gets a ton of value on this map, so not too surprised to see Sick go for that. I imagine we're going to see ShahZaM pick up a Jet, or TenZ will pick up the Jet, and then ShahZaM will get the Sova. So we'll have to see how that plays out. dappr's also yet to pick, so just kind of waiting it out.
And, you know,
there is not a chance in hell that Marv picks Yoru, though, by the way. Let's go ahead and just get that one out of there.
Yeah.
TenZ gets the Jet, so yeah, ShahZaM will take the Sova.
And
dapr
one of the
picking
conversation
Killjoy.
points when we were casting over this match before was we kind of had the conversation initially that like one Sentinel sometimes doesn't feel like enough. Like either you're going to go for a double or you're going to go for none. That was the conversation point that we kind of had initially, but we've seen that conversation kind of change at least a little bit. So yeah, Envy's going to go without that Sentinel, and realistically, just FNS is going to be the one trying to play that controlling role.
Here's the one thing I will say. Like, having a Sentinel on this map, because it's so big, it's really kind of hard to cover your flanks anyway, attacking-wise.
Yeah.
So, and this is something that Mike's was kind of talking to me about, where it's just, you know, how much value do you really get? Like, you can't possibly cover everything with, like, you know, tripwires, whatever the case may be. And so, yeah, not going with the Sentinel, I don't know that that's necessarily the wrong thing. Rise actually pulled a cool double Sentinel setup in the qualifiers, so it seems like the teams are obviously still very much testing the waters with different things, but it's going to be Sentinelist here for Envy with double controller and double duelist, as well as a Sova. And then it's going to be solo duelist for Sentinels, even though they're a team that usually really loves to have double duelists. Not going to have it this case, and they'll do a single controller, just the Viper.
All right. We'll come to learn today. That much is for sure.
Yes, sir.
4 players over through curve.
Got my notepad.
Start. Yeah, for sure. Same here. But Victor and Marved, aggressive, trying to take over the middle of the map. Recon Bolt to free them up, and dapr does not expect that at all. Mid-map control for Envy early.
Yeah, this is great news for Envy, just getting really forward here with that drone, pushing deep into enemy territory here at the back of middle. crashies also peeking from the wood doors there, watching them do the B-split, when they will get into an empty B bomb site. Had the Viper wall down to block off back walls, wall itself, and that B tunnel.
Spike planted.
What is the post plan going to look like? That's the question, because Envy has taken everything from the back, and realistically, you have to feel like Sick needs the zone away a kill or two, and how about it? Finds himself the first, not going to grab the second. mummAy responds. 3v2 situation for Envy's favor, but the post plant is still holding strong. crashies next one up. Long range pistols.
Oh, man.
That was tough to watch, but it's mummAy now, the last one left. Dashes away, gives himself a little bit of separation, but time is going to be a bit of an issue, and TenZ will find the third. Those were some pistol shots, I think, to say the least.
If we can go back to crashies on that replay really quick, I'll give you the inner monologue commentary of what was going on in his head right there, if we want to do that if you want. Because we've all been there. We've all been there playing this game. We've all been with the ghost standing still, our opponent standing still, and we're like, please! Please! And it just doesn't happen. Please! Nope.
Oh, man.
We've all been there. We've all had that happen.
More than not.
Yes, yeah.
More than others.
Definitely not me.
Definitely me.
You're like, we're both crouched, we're both standing still, I'm tapping, why aren't you dying?
Yeah, I've been there too many times to count. Aggression for Sentinels after the tag comes out. Victor's trying to hold on to this over the wall. Victor does find one, but zombs and TenZ find the opening two, and the B side has again successfully been taken.
Indeed it has.
Spike
When you're playing the
planted.
solo controller setup, the Viper wall does literally cover everything that you want. It kind of makes up for not having that second controller.
One enemy remaining.
Well, this has been clean.
Yes.
Gun here.
You know, and I'm just really curious, I think, just kind of throwing the conversation point out there. Take it if you want. You know, what are these B executes going to look like? Because it really does feel like, just off the map design itself, that the only ease of entry would be technically to get through the main area. But
yeah,
it's
B
such,
is
it's
hard.
such a choke point. Like,
I think B is very hard on gun rounds because there is really only that one choke point unless you can get deep mid control and get into tunnels or backstab through nests or something along those lines. I think A is definitely probably the more popular target. There's a lot more ways in. The choke points aren't nearly as big. The problem is there's so many corners to check as you're coming into that site. Between the pyramids, the double stack box, like, it's just a lot to clear. That's why I think Sky provides so much value on Sick. That Trailblazer on top of Sova's drone allows you to clear that stuff out a little bit easier.
How about this? Aggression being showcased here from Envy. At least initially, getting over through the vents. mummAy will have to back away, and as he does, he realizes that, oh, maybe I got a little bit too far forward because Sentinels have cleanly taken this a sight on that attack. Marved and T to be denied as ShahZaM does lock down the headshot. mummAy's able to find one for his life, and it just comes down to Victor, who cannot get through the side doors.
So far, so good here for Sentinels. Winning these rounds pretty clean, maintaining all of their weaponry. Only 5 combined kills so far for Envy in the 3 rounds that have been played so far. TenZ had that covered by himself, plus more. So just things going swimmingly so far for the Sentinels to kick things off. But now the full buy is in effect for Envy, including an operator for mummAy. And that could certainly change things.
Oh, without question. I'm just really curious to see how he wants to use this, because mummAy's one of those operator players that you typically assume that he's just going to be kind of watching one entry to a spike site. But this time he's going to have a little bit of help along with him. Seeker's going to be used very early, though, for Sentinels. And then the flash behind this as they try to take from the side of middle. crashies able to find one, make of it second. Shock Dart coming through, trying to gain some space, and he actually finds the third. mummAy watching his back found the 4th elimination, and everything falls out of the shoulders of ShahZaM for a 1v4.
Yeah, he's probably not long for this world. Indeed, mummAy will send him to the astral plane. And so there you have it. Finally, Envy coming up big after they get their full buy going. Big round for crashies. That's why he's considered one of the best Sovas in the region. Just so skilled with his fragging. Getting his utility out as best he could as well to get some chip damage. And jumping past it right into his crosshair. So there you go. Big stuff as we see Sentinels just trying to move fast up through middle. It seems like this time they're going to try to do the same thing, but maybe more through elbow position.
Defensively, mummAy's actually going to take the operator over towards B as well. So again, that huge natural choke point that exists towards B is going to be tested. And look who's covering. Victor's playing over through mid. He's just playing a passive angle on these boxes with some assistance from crashies utilities. So you talk about how you can enter into B. It realistically is Envy recognizing that and making sure there's only one entry available for Sentinels.
Yeah, op battle here through the long lane of B as well. Perhaps going to come into play. dapr, as you said, catching the mid-aggression there through double doors. Means that A is now open for business, and TenZ gets mummAy, which means that Envy are scrambling to rotate right now. They have no idea where the attack's coming.
And look where the wall's positioned for FNS. He's not even going to be able to use this to much success. Just playing the staircase. Able to find one. Would have loved a second, but denied. So a 4v2 situation unfolds, favoring Sentinels, and they will be able to use this in post-plant form as well.
Yeah. This is pretty much a done deal, you have to imagine. Marv trying to put an effort forward there, but not going to be able to get the connect spray. ShahZaM will stamp him out. It'll be a 4th round for Sentinels on the horizon. It's one of those things where they could just have a field day with the match, right? They're getting a pick on B, they're getting a pick on A simultaneously, they're catching mid-aggression. I mean, everything's going perfectly. They didn't even really have to make any big decisions. I mean, they could just kind of let the game fall into their lap at that point.
Well, it's one of those things, if crashy doesn't die mid-map, you know, that rotation is by no means safe for Sentinels. I mean, it forces mummAy to have to peek through B main. Maybe to find a kill to equalize, and as he does, TenZ finds elimination. So it's just like a collection of everything just going right for Sentinels, largely off of the first pick that comes into crashies in my mind.
Yeah. Now they have to do more with less coming into this one. They have a Vandal for Victor, a Spectre for Finesse. Everybody else is going to be on chairs at best. Jarden is Sentinels once again testing the waters of B early with that Viper wall. Trailblazer coming in and clear out elbow as well. They're going to spot 2 players that have been aggressive here towards middle, so they know what they're up against. Victor trying to use Empress to get in.
You should run.
Oh, this is a commitment and a half from Envy. They will be able to stall off rotations coming out, but the attack will actually re-clear out the bend in elbow.
Yeah.
So this is going to be good for plant.
I mean, they know that they had sight already, so they might as well extend it somewhere else, and it works out perfectly.
Well, first play through elbow, shut down for the double from dapr. mummAy with the knives out. Just a bit of stray. ShahZaM kind of dancing with the toxic screen. And Sick able to find one more beyond that. Leaves FNS in a 1v5. And he gets caught with weapon swap where it's only 2 bullets left in the cartridge. So clean from Sentinels again. Just really good, retakes, but initial executes over towards this B site.
And here's the fun thing about this that Sentinels is doing. If they wind up going ahead and winning this map convincingly, now everyone starts to wonder whether or not Breeze is actually a weak point when it comes to the pick ban phase of every other match that comes up next.
Absolutely.
especially if they're not going to have to play again, right? They've already made playoffs. So for a month and 2 weeks, except for practice, people are going to have to think to themselves, wait a second, can Sentinels play Breeze pretty well? Because their map pool is already super
Very
good outside of this. So it just adds that extra threat right now as they continue to have success here.
Yeah, you know, we had that conversation from before, you know, talking about teams like Rise, KC Pioneers, that I won't say that they kind of got their way through the qualifier off of 2 maps, but results would say that that actually could be a point. And you're going to have to just be away from this whole standpoint of what we had from stage 2, which is we have a set ban. As Victor gets around the back of this play, finds one. mummAy from the front, holding things off. Sick going to get caught, and that's going to be good enough for Envy.
Yeah, he's crushing it right now. This backstab has been brutal from Victor. Also a good initial hold, must be said, inside the A halls. So Envy's starting to find some success here defensively. Should be able to close this one out, you'd have to imagine. Indeed they will. Marv finds zombs, and in the controller battle, Marv comes out on top for Envy to get another one on the scoreboard. Have to see if they can build off of it. But definitely really well played this round.
I mean, it's just, it really is. I mean,
never had a chance.
Same thing, Sick. It's nearsighted by the look of it.
Yeah.
So 5-2, but now you have Sentinels in a position to at least match the operator pressure once more here. So that battle between TenZ and mummAy going to be on highlight without question to see what they want to do at the opening setups. And how about it? TenZ aggressive, mummAy ready for it. Finds elimination, one more to peek, and oh, actually gets a tag off. Marved able to capitalize as he comes over from the mid side of elbow. And again, early eliminations for Envy as they take over the middle of the map.
Yeah, that's the big difference maker, isn't it? Their ability to take over middle has really changed how this is playing out. Starting to win some key fights early through their mid control, and that's really starting to disrupt Sentinels on trying to go for some of these faster attacks on the sites itself. As we do have Envy on a 4-on-2. Spike will get planted by Sick here, and zombs might be able to catch people off guard here by the stack position.
Yeah.
That's 2!
How about a third?
No way!
Zombs? You have to know his ears were as big as elephant ears right there. I mean, he heard every bit of motion that was going on for Envy. With the fine 3 clean kills. Seekers will come out. FNS will obviously be scouted by this.
Oh my.
So it'll be a very difficult 1v2.
I can't believe Envy have let this one slide.
It's
But
just
at
one
the
of
same
those things,
time,
like,
amazing job from zombs.
absolutely. They get so many numbers stacked mid-map that zombs just sneaks around the back and kills off any rotation back over towards B. It's beautiful, honestly. It's really heads-up play.
Yeah, beautiful play from zombs. Envy need to have some discussions. Can't let him get away with that.
I mean, this is early days, obviously, but do you feel like maybe it's just too many numbers for Envy pushed forward? I mean, look how many blue arrows are in the middle of the map.
I mean, that one makes sense. That just happens, but this should never happen. They should be facing together to make sure that they get the trade. So a little bit of a misstep there, but again, zombs taking advantage of the situation perfectly. Really well done. Really crafty positioning. That steals a round away from Envy. Certainly they were expecting that one, you have to imagine.
Oh, for sure.
Revealing area.
But still, Envy putting a lot of numbers over to the middle of the map. This has been obviously a pretty cognizant decision as far as how they want to establish their defense. Crashy's going to try to clear things out of vents with the Hunter's Fury. Not going to connect with much of anything. And again, you've got Sentinels that are very much so reading like, okay, if you want to keep putting numbers through the middle of the map, we'll clear with an owl drone and then see if we can follow up with the player behind that in the elbow.
Yeah, exactly. Being able to reinforce a little bit of control for Sentinels by getting through elbow position. They have their wall down at B per usual. Starting to clear out a little bit more of middle as well, thanks to positioning of dapr, who's about to play around this pillar. Spike looking to make its over towards B. Smoked off for now, though, is 10, so they're kind of waiting for that to open up to see if he can find anything. And then they'll probably start looking to charge in here with their Viper wall down to block off tunnel and back halls.
Here comes the take. Marved just is never even read. Finds one, finds 2! Not going to get the third. Zombs responds, but Crashy's still reinforcing. No problem whatsoever, although FNS on the rotation does get caught, and it's starting to fall apart again from Envy. Plenty of time to rotate this Spike back over to A, and dappr's going to make that call for ShahZaM to do just that as he found that kill mid-map.
Yeah, I mean, mummAy trying to rotate now through the spawn, but dappr's already so pushed up under the bridge that I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do here. Has no idea where dappr's positioned.
that things change quickly, but now all of a sudden mummAy is just between himself and two Sentinels players. dapr walks up behind, no problem for the elimination. And again, it's another nice start for Envy. The hold looks solid, but there's just always another threat in the map that it feels like Envy are missing.
It's always that late mid player that they just happen not to find. And to be fair, it's a big space. There's a lot of places to check. You're probably not expecting them to be there. But again, yeah, Marv tees off early. crashies able to trade right there with them. They stay a man ahead throughout that entire process, but it just comes down to dapr. That late mid player not being checked. Closes out the round with two big ones. That's going to be 7-2 now in favor of Sentinels, and it's back to a save for Envy for the most part, other than Marv having the Phantom. It's just Sheriffs.
Standing ahead.
Knives also coming out. That's from TenZ. Early flash coming around the elbow. This will be dicey. Oh, boy. Victor falls. Information mid-map. TenZ. Oh, he doesn't see the last, though. mummAy does at least punish in some form. Still a tough position here for mummAy and FNS. Stuck essentially mid-map. Up the creek without a paddle. Stick and dapr clean up, no problem. Quick rounds here for Sentinels.
Yeah, they're kind of speedrunning their way through this map so far on the attacking side. Such a big map, it does feel like defense is hard if you're not able to control middle yourself or get some early intel. But again, the B side feels like it should be tough for attacking teams with it just being like such a tight choke point to get in through B lobby or B main, whatever you'd like to call it. Again, unless you can get tunnels as well, it can get tricky. But they've been able to win some key fights. They've been able to make a lot of impact out of some of their mid lurkers, whether that be zombs or dapr.
Revealing area. And
to be honest, I feel like Envy slipped on the banana peel a couple of times here. I feel like this very easily could be 6-4.
Recon bolt set out. Interesting position off that. Little fly along coming out from the ops team again, showing some lineup potentialities. But everything comes to a bit of a pause here as we're in the full buy. Peek coming up from Sick, and how does he win that angle? mummAy misses it once more, and now the middle of the map is all Sentinels again.
Yeah, now this all of a sudden's opened up that multi-prong threat onto B. So now the B defenders have to be a little bit more careful. TenZ finds a pick onto mummAy over on A side, so it's just getting very chaotic for Envy as they have so much map being taken away from them, and they're also losing a player, but Finesse gets a big frag there to help things a little bit as they now reinforce A side. They have some middle vision with Victor. And we still have Marv keeping tabs on B main as we starting to see Sentinels pivot to cave. Haven't really seen a big cave push from them yet, I feel like. It's been mostly mid attacks. And here we go.
It's just as can FNS hear this? Oh, he sure will. So here's the flash. Poison Cloud coming through. FNS able to catch Sick. Looking for some utility play, it looks like. Snakebite right down in, and Sentinels have been backed up. Recon bolt all through that will reveal one. FNS is pretty confident that there's a player in this corner, though. You can see him.
Look at TenZ floating above the snakebite repeatedly.
And then gets an angle. Oh, tagged up just a touch. TenZ looking to get aggressive. Victor there to help out. crashies will find one more beyond this, and ooh, little Windbee coming through that cave entrance, and Envy will secure their third round.
Yeah, they just got pushed to going A late, and then Finesse not getting checked initially. Stuff Sick and helps Envy have a chance to shut down that A attack. Just, you know, based on his utility and his frag alone, he just stalls him out for so long, allowing for the rotation. And so Envy put another round on the board. One more left to go in the half. Have to see if they can build off of that now. mummAy will have the op, and he's got daggers, so he's got all the options open to him. Hunter's Fury, Viper's Pit, and Lockdown available for Sentinels. That is a wild up of ults to use to take a site.
Take flight.
Aldrone, Trailblazer being sent. Sentinels trying to clear out some space to approach over towards the B site. And it's going to be ShahZaM trying to convert, or at least push back, one member of Envy in the deep side. That's FNS, down to 1 HP. Marv, though, still holding out of the front, able to find one, but overwhelmed. Now on the back side of the site, FNS trying to hold things and keep Sentinels honest, but still, the Sentinels offense make their way on. Lockdown also a part of that, and now it's just down to spamming, and oh boy. Lockdown coming through, the Secrets immediately to follow, and Sentinels once again gain significant control of B side easy.
Spike planted.
Yeah, mummAy's in a lot of trouble here. Doesn't even get to take it really much of a step forward. ShahZaM Sansa's him immediately with the op. That's 9-3. Big attacking half for Sentinels in their first game of Breeze ever. Same to be said for Envy. Not sure how much practice C2's teams would have been putting into Breeze these last few weeks, but certainly their first time up, we're getting to see them play it. And Sentinels, I don't know. It's like kind of a weird attacking half where I feel like they kind of just... I mean, they certainly had some set utility for some of their B-side attacks, but we didn't really see too much A play from them, and a lot of it just came down to more often than not, them being the more dominant force in the middle of the map, whether it be, you know, mid-round or late round, just clean up very key battles here just like that.
And that's Sentinels re-winning the middle of the map, by the way, because cognizantly, you've got Envy who have absolutely dictated that defensively they want the middle of the map. They sent so many numbers, a lot of utility being spent to gain it. But Sentinel's retake of that position, absolutely brilliant. It's really interesting, I think, just to see those kind of initial defaults, if you want to call it, for both the sides on their opening halves. ShahZaM going to be tested here. Poison Cloud will come through, but he actually slips out. Ah, but as it blooms... Wait a second, hello? Hello?
Hello?
2v2 after everything's all said and done. Sick will see the elbow, lines up the headshot. Just down to FNS for 1v2.
Let's be real. We just all want to see that replay. Let's be completely honest about it.
FNS. Tag.
Okay,
Sick hops
all right,
out.
replay time.
Yep. What just happened?
We're gonna see it again. Here we go. You ready? Are you ready?
I don't know if I am ready.
I'm not that good at it. I tried though.
I
think everyone got
fair
what I'm
effort. So much focus out of the sight, you just lose track of what's in front of you. It's hiding in plain sight, really, is what.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Good times.
Indeed. Big advantage, though, for Sentinels. 10-3 up. Weapon advantage coming in here to the second round of the half. Envy opening a marshaled battle. See if Victor can find anything with it. And Sick will at least be able to snarl his way through elbow with the Trailblazer. Not going to find too much. And how about the free take here from Envy? They just walk right onto the A site, but this seems pretty okay from Sentinels. Looking to deny the plant. And even 1-for-1 comes out. ShahZaM next one up. A little shaky with the Bulldog. And FNS and Marved will combine for 2 to give Envy the site.
Got more than space now. They got a 2-man advantage. Finesse is pretty low on health. But they have no idea where he is, and he's getting in behind through the rope. Oh my goodness, TenZ in trouble. Brilliantly done here from Envy.
ZOM's up top. He does have FNS at low HP, but this round feels pretty unsalvageable. Still has some utility to play with if he really wants to give this a go, but time is maybe the bigger opponent than the 4 members of Envy that are still alive. And more so now that Victor has kept him at range. Marved is rotating away, and it looks like crashies will be the only one here defensively to make sure that there is no forward play for any kind of a sneak defuse.
Well done from Envy. You know, using that Viper wall to get some initial room onto the A site, which was kind of given up. Had one player kind of playing from the back, I believe. But other than that, they got some free space, and they were able to use it to good effect. I mean, obviously, good use of the Marshal. Able to pick up around it with some good pistol play, and that's a big round for Envy. You feel like this game starts to spiral out of control if they don't get that, or if they don't, you know, find their opening buy round. Sentinels were so close to map point at that time. Now they've caused an early skirmish here in this half, and things can get interesting if they can capitalize. But they have to get past this force buy first.
That looks like a little slice of paradise for that bear.
Yeah, I feel like he's not getting the full grasp of, you know, how to handle the beach.
Deploying drone.
That's all right, you learn.
Black clothes and a black rubber tire in the hot sun seems like a bad combo. I don't know.
You know, I was first play for mummAy. Nice shot. I was in Vegas a couple of weeks ago. And the amount of people that I saw wearing long pants, long shirts, and like knit caps in 105-degree summer weather blew my mind. I was dying, and they were like comfortable. So who knows? Maybe the same thing is for there for the bear.
I don't know. When do we get a bear character or a squirrel character? That's my question.
That's a good point. Sick response, but only mildly. Has to do more than that. And oh boy, he's right. This is about to get really difficult. Finds the elimination. Just down to dapr, and Victor seems to have a beat on the fact that the last Sentinels defender has rotated either around from A or potentially is looking to make a play through mid. dapr, just with a classic in hand, is going to be looked at from a multitude of angles, including mummAy right here.
As force buy falters, so Envy should have a freebie coming up next. Bounce up to 6. I expect that Envy will probably have some good stuff cooked up. Between Finesse and Mike's and just kind of knowing this Envy team, they usually
for sure.
are pretty good for some good little set pieces, some good utility combos. Definitely a lot of opportunities, you know, when you're playing double controller to set up a bunch of different little situations.
Well, this time it's going to be...
Oh, it's a full buy, actually. I read that horribly wrong. I am sorry.
I was going to say full buy essentially.
I'm a terrible
coming out.
caster. You should fire me. Not
I don't
you.
know
You
if I have
power
that. Yeah,
shift,
I don't
but-
have that power to do that.
Yeah.
Also, please don't. And it kind of feels like, again, even for Sentinels, they really do want to put some threat over the middle of the map early defensively.
Yeah.
They're not going to actually throw any numbers this direction, but the utility is spent to shrug off Envy from feeling frisky down the middle of the map.
Yeah, this 3-1-1 is kind of the default that I expected to see out of Envy. Like, I expect they'll either have 3 players B side or 3 players A side, and then you always have to have some type of middle presence and at least one kind of lurk to kind of make sure that no one's pushing through. With it being such a big map and you're not playing a Sentinel, you kind of have to have personnel with, like, physical eyes on some of these areas early in the round until you start looking to commit somewhere. And it looks like they are looking for the split. And the mid-nest player, Sick, I don't know if he's spotted the fact that Marved has moved into double doors position, so there is a bit of an A split. With that Viper wall down, they help get some space through K's, and it'd be an interesting little situation for TenZ here. Might be in some trouble.
Yeah, his first responsibility has to be double doors. I think you're right. I don't think Six saw anything with his guiding light coming through. Crashies going to let loose the Hunter's Fury. Viper's kept behind us. TenZ tagged up and eventually taken down. So Envy on their way forward, but look at the Sentinels defense. It's coming through quickly, but it might not make any sort of a difference. Sick on the outside, working with dapr. They spam, they find a couple of eliminations. Lockdown now earned. Maybe an opportunity for more, but Victor shuts down the initial play. Just up to dapr, finds himself a third. 1v1 with Marved. And the lockdown is going to zone him out just away from Pyramid, but the aggressive challenge not going to be successful. And Marved responds to clutch up the round for Envy, who are now down just 4.
Yeah, really good job there from Envy. A well-designed play, just knowing that they could slip their player in through middle. Had a great Viper wall down, used the Viper's Pit really well to just kind of creep their way into sight for a plant by Pyramids. Obviously a good effort here from dapr. Gets a couple of kills, gets a lockdown in. Almost pulled off the quad kill clutch, but Marv getting just outside the lockdown area, delivering the final blow, and keeping Envy on the map. And now you see kind of another weird 4-spot situation here from Sentinels where they're only going to have one Phantom. Everybody else is on Spectres or upgraded pistols.
mummAy has gone from Marshal to Operator. And the setup you can already see again, you get this dapr Sentinel utility largely stacked on towards A. A lot of trust that zombs could single-handedly hold on to B, which with this wall placement, it actually makes life very difficult for him. He's really got to stay controlled in this possible situation. But look at the play forward from Victor.
Yep. Making a lot of headway here throughout these A halls. They also have some mid presence. They have some, you know, B main control. They're looking to either put the spike over towards B, and so really Victor can just be selling a fake or maybe even backstabbing and cutting off rotations. He definitely has really good forward position here to do a couple of different things depending on what Envy wants. As it certainly seems like they're going to go over to B side. It is just going to be on zombs. It's got no rotation yet. Snakebite though trying to stall it out.
Has to find one. Nope, not going to happen. The Trailblazer that didn't get sent out, though, will allow an opportunity for Sick to see that there is a rotation coming through, and he actually does cut off some of this play at the back. Marv, beautiful paranoia, connects for his second and third eliminations, and now it's ShahZaM in the back. Gonna be able to find a one-tap. That's gonna do nicely. He's still looking to get this plant off, but eventually overwhelmed in the back are the Sentinels defenders, and now it's just down to dapr 1v3 with a Ghost.
Yeah, it's nice because they keep that constant Viper wall over on the A side of the map, which, you know, they can either use to take space on A and deny vision, or they can just kind of use it as, you know, something that is like presence, and they can, you know, gather up and just hit the B side. Certainly help having Victor in such a forward position in A hall to kind of hear footsteps, hear rotations. There's not really much vision on middle for Sentinels either in that situation. I think Six sent the Trailblazer through but didn't spot anything. So, all in all,
he may have caught one. He leaped it forward at the end, and I don't know if that was enough to see, but
yeah, it was tough to say.
That's all speculation.
He might have
us,
saw
so.
finesse. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough to call. Either way, big round for Envy. Starting to cook up something here on their own attacking side. Definitely seem like a team that's pretty well drilled.
Outside of the one match that we had here on Breeze earlier, which we learned a lot about the lockdown potential of double Sentinels, even including the offense, which I think really, it surprised me at least. I was really, kind of perplexed on how much value we were seeing out of the Sentinels on the attack. I really think that this is going to be very much so an offensive favored map. It's just, like you mentioned, it's so large across the 3 core POIs that it's just hard to cover everything.
Yeah, definitely another one of those really big maps, a lot of open lanes. It definitely encourages offensive opping when a lot of other maps maybe don't. So, lots of different options, I feel like. As Victor's been found out here by the alarm bot trying to come through A-Halls. It again, they're going to hit the switch. Put some pressure here. Big kill on the TenZ.
Little open sesame, closed sesame right there. Opens the door with the Leer just to find the kill, then closes it right back down. And more door fanatics going through here for Victor. crashies, meanwhile, from the front, actually does not gain entry. FNS is trying to hold for this, but Sick deals with it. So Sentinel's defense coming to life here as dapr takes care of the threat in vents. And as mummAy misses a shot, he'll be forced to collect the spike and fight this from the pyramids. Finds the first, reads the second to the left, able to find that elimination, but dapr eventually puts him down. 1v2 for Marved. Sick is on critical health and able to find a 1v1 versus dapr isolated, but doesn't win the gunfight. And a big round for Sentinels as they reclaim their 4-round edge.
Yeah, huge round there from dapr. Big individual effort because Envy were certainly doing some good things. I mean, getting A-Hall's control, getting that pick from Victor through the switch onto TenZ, getting some control out through K's. I mean, it seemed like Envy were setting up nicely for something there, but dapr able to make some big plays happen on the site to kind of shut that thing down, and Sentinels will hold Envy off. Both teams coming into this one with the full buy. Yet again, those zombs is going to be on the Spectre. Ops also available for both teams. Lots of ults in play, potentially.
Oh, TenZ doesn't really cover as much as I think he was hoping for initially. He does stay alive, but it does force him to dash back. He's going to reclaim this peak, and well, as he does, he gets absolutely punished.
That was
definitely feeling, very loose with that one. Defending lockdown will be in play, though. This will be safely put down right behind the boxes on the site, but Envy are still looking pretty primed to let this expire and then go again.
Yeah, mine as well, right? But it has bought some time for some more rotations to help reinforce the site from Sentinel's perspective. Viper's Pit has to go down, though, so it opens up an option for B. We do have Sick, though, probably hearing this rotation as he's pushed way deep into A-Halls. It does allow indeed ShahZaM to start rotating. They also have Hunter's Fury to stall out the plant, potentially. So with time running low, depending on how long Envy takes to actually get into B side, and Zombs can get a kill or two, could be interesting.
Oh, so good. Timing is perfect. Hunter's Fury could also be used just to stall the rotation into the site itself. And oh boy, as Envy take the cosplay of the Persians in this battle of Thermopylae. Easy chokeslam coming through for Sentinels. It leaves it to a 3v2, and Sick sneaking up behind, finds mummAy just down to crashies now.
Yeah, not looking good for him in this 1 versus 3. Indeed, ShahZaM will capitalize. So just good stalling tactics through and through from Sentinels. Lockdown and stall out A, forces a redirection, which Sick hears. Then the combination of stake bites and the Hunter's Fury stops him from ever really getting into B site. So just good team play there from Sentinels through and through, maximizing some ability combinations to ensure themselves now a map point. They'll have 5 chances here to get it done without the need of extra rounds.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Envy having to come into this one worse for wear. You know, Spectre and Marshall. There are some daggers available, though, for mummAy with his ult. So we'll pick up a Spectre or a Judge instead so that he can be a little bit more diverse.
TenZ is now this opening Eldrone now 3, if not 4 rounds in a row. And for Envy, all you're getting off of that utility is the fact that, hey, guess what? TenZ has an operator, and no one was surprised.
Yeah, they get deep up middle, though. They're into tunnels pretty quickly. They even threaten Nest position. ShahZaM, though, gets first blood on the finesse over towards A-Halls. Victor, though, quick to respond.
Hunter's Fury coming out. They know for a fact the Sentinels defenders are playing the backside. And the kills will be there. One from crashies, the other from mummAy. And now it's a 2v4 situation. Retake required from Sentinels as the spike makes its way on. Plant will follow. And, well, TenZ tried to sneak on in, but denied by Marved. It all rests on dapr for the 1v4. And you feel like this is a pretty inconsequential round for Sentinels. Like you mentioned, they still have a handful of tries to put this one away. It's just down to how painful can dapr make this round for Envy.
That's just good use of mid control from Envy. Good use of Hunter's Fury as well to clear out a lane. on that back B side. So definitely can tell India done their homework on how they want to attack some of these sites. But it's just the tall task of trying to streak them together to force OT at this point. Still certainly a ways off of doing that. But, yeah, I like the attack, though.
Yeah, same. It's just interesting because, I mean, with Sentinels continuing to put TenZ over through, and I guess maybe I should go back on my own point here. If you read that TenZ is going to be operating that same corner by A pyramids, you know that you don't have that threat mid-map, so you can maybe get a little bit more aggressive than you would normally figure.
Yeah.
So, things to think about.
Save here from Sentinels. ShahZaM still gets first blow at that Sheriff. And here's a couple more players, so knows what he's up against. Able to stall them out with the Orb and Snakebite. Sick trying to get some intel at the Guiding Light here out in middle. Doesn't hear anything in elbow. But still, you like Envy's chances here. They still have the superior firepower. Yeah, they've lost the player, but short of the Seekers of Sick, there's not a whole lot for Sentinels to use here.
And collecting weapons as soon as Envy decides they want to execute is going to be a near impossibility. So Aldrone will go first. mummAy will go second. Dashes into the corner, but Sick. The one tap. Keeps this hit for Envy pretty low on numbers. mummAy's trying to get his way around the backside walls, and he will find ShahZaM, but Sick has still eluded them, and now the rotation from Sentinels are here. Shots close, but no cigar. dapr long range able to punish.
Oh, look at mummAy though low.
2v2. And okay, wait a second. Now it's just mummAy, like you mentioned, down to one shot worth of HP from a Sheriff. Finds the first, and dapr cleans things up. The Thrifty to secure things. Sentinels outlast Envy on Breeze. We'll send things to a pause. When we come back, it'll be behind for map number 2.